Welcome to Sips and Spirits, a podcast for lovers of both alcoholic and spectral kinds. Podcast. Podcast. I am one of your hosts who can't seem to talk, Chelsea.
And we haven't had any drink yet. Actually, no, we had a bottle of wine earlier. I'm your other host, Eric. Welcome to the episode that hasn't been recorded yet. I think we're ready for 2 weeks for this episode. It's been things coming up.
Yeah, life caught up with us and we just kind of needed to take the downtime, which I'm glad we took a moment to not rush it because it's just been nonstop. But we're here and we're excited to get this episode done.
Yes.
So let's jump into our disclaimers now that introductions are out of the way.
Before we get started, facts and stories are presented from various sources and we make no claims that these tales are true. We just want it to be spooky and interesting.
Cocktails and spirits are tasted for first time during episode recordings unless noted otherwise, which in this case, because it's a Cryptid and Cocktails episode, we did try this cocktail beforehand because we create a cocktail for the Cryptid and then discuss it. What? You're making fun of me.
Yeah, I'm making fun of you. But alongside that, we want to remind you that it's fine to enjoy the spirits, but don't let them possess you. We may be a drinking podcast, but we strongly encourage you to drink responsibly. As much as we love you and enjoy our cocktails, there's never any pressure to consume them.
Exactly. And we have had a few listeners who have told us that, I don't imbibe, but I do enjoy your episodes. Yes. So we love that you're still hanging out with us, even though we're being the drunken fools we are over here.
Drunken. Who's drunk here?
Oh, right.
Sorry, I did arms today and I feel really good.
Of course you did. So as is usual with these Cryptid episodes, my brain is not working. I'm excited. I'm too excited for this cocktail. We had a handful of our friends at Midsummer Scream draw a card from our Clash of the Cryptids deck to help us decide our next episode Cryptid, and I feel like I'm totally scattered. I'm so sorry. But James from That Halloween Bro is the person who drew this next cryptid. So we're going to go ahead and have him reveal and introduce the card that he pulled. All right, as you saw, I am dressed for a reason because we're getting a little witchy with this one.
You have to wear clothes.
What?
You have to wear clothes. I don't think we can put this on YouTube with no clothes on. Anyway.
I'm lost. What did I say that prompted you?
I am dressed for a reason.
I meant to say I'm dressed this way for a reason.
There we go.
Did I not say that?
No, yes, I'm dressed for a reason. I'm yes.
I'm dressed this interesting way. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm wearing a witch hat for the occasion because James drew the Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga.
All right, so we are going to have James taste test our Baba Yaga cocktail on April 15th following this episode. Time. The time on that date will be announced. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really not doing well with this so far. I need to get this cocktail in me. So the date for our Instagram Live is going to be April 15th. It's a Saturday, but the time will be announced on our Instagram because we're still kind of finagling the details. We've been good this time about getting our episodes out a bit earlier, so we're figuring out dates when we're starting to record these. So sometimes we don't always have the details. But yeah.
But a little shout outs here. I'm going to help you get your lips in check. Congratulations to the following guests. Roxanne Rhodes.
Roxanne Rhodes.
Roxanne Rhodes. She gets Baba Yaga. Mm-hmm. And Steaming Kittens from Hilda of Shenanigans in Motion also gets Baba Yaga.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Special shout out to Hilda. Thanks so much. She's guessed all 3 of our cryptids these last 10 in this 10 episode segment. So since
she's been right, correct?
Huh?
She's been right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good job.
She's been guessing them and just whirling them out. It's we got to send her a little special thank you.
There we go. Thank you, Hilda.
So yeah, thank you guys for guessing on that cryptid.
Thank you.
So Shall we go ahead and cheers with this lovely?
Cheers. I want to cheers. I want to enjoy this bad boy.
Yeah, so thank you.
The lighting makes this look really green.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm glad it's growing on you.
Yeah. When I first tried this, we'll get to that tasting notes later.
Yeah.
But what's hunting behind our bar?
All right, so no surprises on my end, guys, but it's another Winchester Centennial Speaker Series that's actually happening this coming Sunday, that the episode's coming out at 2 p.m. They're going to be talking about the 1906 earthquake that happened in San Jose, San Francisco area. And I'm really excited to participate in it because there's a lot of stories surrounding the Winchester Mystery House and how it was affected by this earthquake, which was one of the biggest, if not the biggest. I'm not sure if it's the biggest, but it was definitely one of the most, it was the biggest, most recent, like within our decade.
I thought...
Not decade, century.
1986 earthquake was pretty big too.
It was pretty big. So I'm not sure if it was the 1906 or the 1989 earthquake.
You're right.
Because we were both alive during the 89.
Yes.
I'm not sure which one was bigger, but they were both.
Who were you when the 89 hit?
Taking my first steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I got the scar on my lip.
I remember getting my mom calling my aunt and my grandma in Watsonville. We were in Mexico at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about it. It was like a nighttime when it hit, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember her talking about it. I was like, I have this memory of her calling them, like, everybody okay? Do you need us to go up? But I was like 3.
Mm-hmm. I do remember, like, being in a doorway,
mm-hmm.
like, making a step outside and everything shaking and tripping and falling.
Sure.
But I was very young, mm-hmm. So I don't even think a year old.
Anyway.
But yeah, so I'm very excited. The speaker for this is Jim Carter. He's the vice president of the San Jose Fire Museum, which is a place I've been wanting to go to. Everything okay over there?
Yeah, I need more room.
Okay. Or you need to step closer.
Oh my God.
So I'm really looking forward to it. And if you guys are NorCal Bay Area local, I highly suggest checking out these speaker series. They have reduced the tickets. They're now only $5. And it's a great little treasure trove of knowledge for something that's local. And California history gets a little underappreciated. I feel like we get chopped up to the 49ers. And what was the other thing we
missions.
talked about? Oh, yeah. And then the California missions. But there's actually a lot of history hidden here. And so it's been really fun to go to these little speaker series and learn. So, yeah, if you guys can, come and join me. It'd be great to have you. And, yeah. What else is happening behind our bar, dear?
Words. Just a reminder, our last episode was our first guest. We had Mr. He delightfully join us in our technical difficulties in an episode, and we had a fun time just talking to her and just...
She was a champ as we got through those.
She was very champ, and then following that, we also got a chance to record an episode with her podcast.
Calendar
Ghouls, which you guys should check it out as well.
Yeah, that's the Unlucky Charms episode, but I know she just recently did a whole brand refresh with Calendar Ghouls, so definitely be sure to check it out. It's really fun what she's doing over there.
Yeah, so check both episodes out, kind of thing, and let us know what you guys think. If you guys have any suggestions for any guests we should ask to come join us, we're getting our gears working on that to make sure it works better. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Exactly.
God dang.
All right, and then last week was one of my favorite things to celebrate throughout the year, which is Be Kind to Spiders Week. Not Christmas. Oh. But yes, so Be Kind to Spiders Week is a week-long celebration that kicks off on the first Sunday of April and ends on that following Saturday. And I tend to do on my own personal blog, Cheers with Chelsea, like a little post each day. What?
Nothing. I read the next note.
Oh.
Took me a second.
You made me lose my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And if you check out my Instagram or check out my blog, you'll see all the fun things that I am doing to celebrate and honor spiders.
How long have you been doing it for?
5 years this year. I've been celebrating for 5 years, and that's really exciting for me.
That's very exciting.
That should be a big deal. I'm an Aries. I don't commit to anything for long term.
How am I still here?
I don't know. How are we still a thing? Because double Aries.
That's
what makes it work.
Two best make it right? Also, coming up.
Oh, I forgot to.
Coming up in a couple days as well.
Uh-huh.
Our hostess here is celebrating her birthday.
Oh! Well, that would have already happened by the time this comes out.
When this comes out, her birthday happens. We're recording beforehand. When this comes out, her birthday would have happened. So make sure you send out a shout out for her. And whatnot. But also, our own personal spooky, scary skeleton. Our little monster.
Our little boo.
Is also having a birthday later this month. That's been one of his favorite phrases now, spooky, scary skeletons. And it's very adorable to like.
He's obsessed with skeletons.
Yes.
So we have this skeleton that we found after Halloween time. And we kept it. But we could not put it away. He would not let us. No. Like, he had the biggest breakdown. Mm-hmm. And then, so he's just been the last 2 months? Month?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has these skeleton pajamas. That's all he wants to wear. Now he's slowly adding pieces. So now he has skeleton gloves. And he's been asking for a skeleton mask.
And I'm
like, yeah, and a hat. So he wants like a skeleton Sam, the top hat. But he's calling it a skeleton hat. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, next is going to be the shoes.
Right.
Or something. I don't know. But it's so funny. But it's also adorable because he has like memorized the Silly Symphony's skeleton. It's the skeleton dance, right?
Yeah.
He knows, he like acts it out. And each time he does it, he actually switches roles on which skeleton he's doing.
Oh, that's funny.
But now that he's like, okay, I've mastered the skeleton dance, now it's time to master spooky, scary skeletons.
There we go.
But there have been like all these different kinds of videos and renditions of this song. So he hasn't figured out which dance moves he's settling on yet.
But it's adorable to see him watch it and whatnot, and just get to enjoy it, though.
It's so sweet.
Yeah.
And it's like, we totally were not pushing it. I swear, even though we love our spooky stuff.
He just
whatever the kids want to like our daughter loves mermaids and unicorns, go for it.
Yeah.
Our son's been obsessed with skeletons. Cool.
Yeah.
And it's just
it works out, yeah.
Really cute. He's just been haunting our halls.
Very much. And lastly, with that celebration, we will be out on vacation at the end of the month. We're going to be out at Disneyland. Mm-hmm. So
after our live with James, if we seem a bit unresponsive, it's because we're taking a little vacation to celebrate our son's birthday. Yeah. So apologies if we are a little lacking in that department.
Yeah. But if you happen to be around the area and you bump into us, come say boo or something.
Yeah.
We'd love to say to meet some of our SoCal friends or fans. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about this.
Yes.
So, when I first had this cocktail, I first had this cocktail, I had burned my mouth with food. So as I drank them, I was like, I don't taste anything. It's kind of
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm over here like, oh, this is so good.
This is like, she's explaining this flavors, like, you know, she's like, little, like, an enlightenment vision of something, and then she's like, going all over the place. I'm like, it tastes like water.
It was very heartbreaking. Let me
so
tell
if you like it, cool. You know, we don't have to agree on everything. A few days later, after my mouth healed, I had it again. I was like, whoa, this is actually very enjoyable and whatnot. And then we tweaked it one more time. It's like, there we go.
Yeah, we nailed it.
That's what it was. So what's in here?
We have 1.5 ounces of greenhouse vodka. We have some elderflower lemonade, some lemon juice, basil, mint, thyme, and dry curacao.
Dry curacao.
Which is a type of orange brandy liqueur, if you're not familiar with what a dry curacao is. We actually stumbled across it thanks to the wonderful Tyrone at Mackay, kind of walking us through the ingredients of one of their very delightful cocktails. And we're like, what is this flavor? It's so good.
Yeah.
And it was a dry curacao. So if you guys happen to come across this liqueur, highly recommend checking it out. It's pretty delightful.
We've been wanting to use it for a cocktail for a while, and it hasn't fit on anything yet. But this one, like, it
worked like magic, tying everything together. It was that final piece.
It was the cherry on top that I needed to like finish it together.
Exactly.
Kind of
so the herbs play into the aromatic flavors of this cocktail. So we wanted to have that foresty vibe. I feel like we do that a lot in our cocktails, but this one is more like a dirt earthy instead of like greenery earthy. Even though these herbs are very green, I feel like you get more of the dirt flavor in a good way, guys. I know that sounds really weird.
We're not like in mud, but you get like the earthness of it, kind of thing. Because these are very earthy, like, herbs.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Like, they have nice smell, but taste wise, they're very earthy.
The vodka plays tribute to Baba Yaga's Slavic origins. So Baba Yaga is like a Slavic tale, so that covers many different countries, and vodka seemed like a good pick. And we picked Greenhouse just because we happen to have it on hand. Other vodkas will work just as well with this, because that's kind of the beauty of vodka. They're pretty universal in their flavor, unless you're getting like the fancy Crystal Head different flavors where they're trying to achieve something. But yeah, your standard vodka will work really nicely with this. And then I always love to, with an herbal cocktail like this, top it off with the elderflower lemonade. I feel like it really helped tie the herbal and the vodka flavors without drowning one or the other out or bringing one more forward. And then that dry curacao, it's hard to describe what kind of flavor it brings. Yeah. But it mellows out the tardiness of the lemon. Yeah. And the lemonade. Without having to add a sweetener. Yeah.
So, unlike other cocktails, we did not make a special simple syrup for this one. But, no, for sure. Like, when we added everything together first, we did add a sweetener of honey. And we're like, let's do honey. And it tasted fine. But it wasn't like...
It didn't quite accomplish what we wanted.
Together kind of thing. And then, when we were retasting to make sure everything was good, we forgot the honey. And then we're like, let's add something to it. And we had a dry curacao. So I was like, we added that.
We haven't played with that.
And so we did it. It was like, okay. Now, just a quarter ounce. That's all you need. Too much dry curacao and you have an orange juice.
You're getting it. Yeah. Eric put it perfectly when we were sampling this cocktail and trying the different measurements. Ironically, just that extra quarter ounce. So going from a quarter ounce to a half ounce, it ended up tasting like a mimosa.
Yeah. So... You want to have like a gin mimosa? Go for it.
Vodka mimosa.
Sorry. And that's it. But no, overall, like I said, it has that earthy feeling to it. It has a little bit of sweetness from the dry curacao kind of thing. Definitely the lemon essence from the elderflower lemonade and the lemon itself. It's going down smoothly. I'm about to pound this bad boy.
I know. That's the hard part is... If you love it, I love herbal cocktails. They're totally my thing. So, I could drink this so quick. Yeah. And,
it's a very easy cocktail to drink. Like, you don't have to get any, like, afterburn from it and be like, I can't do this. You'll finish it and be like, what happened to it? As you guys see, mine's, okay, I ain't halfway done. But I was like, I'm almost out of here. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like there was something else I wanted to add with the tasty notes on this, but I can't think of what it was.
A big suggestion. Double strain it.
Oh, yeah. That will be in the recipe when you guys find it. It says to double strain, which what we mean is if you have... Oh, our cocktail shaker's not around. You cleaned it up. So if you have, like, your normal cocktail shaker has the strainer, also get, like, a mesh strainer to put over your glass to strain the shaker into or from, so that you catch the blended herbs. Yeah. Because otherwise you're going to be picking it out of your teeth. Like that's the problem with a mojito, but these herbs are so fine that they just go right through the strainer. Yeah. So definitely double strain it. And that's what we mean when we say double strain. Add that mesh strainer and then pour it in. Yeah.
All those
I
loveliness.
That could have all been floating around in our cocktail.
Yep.
I don't think anyone's going to be able to see that. But yeah, a little cocktail knowledge for you guys.
So, where can you find this?
As usual, you can find this recipe on our website. We'll have a special post just for that. You can click on the little recipe card, print it, download it, whatever you need. You okay there?
Yeah, I'm just making some room for me.
Yeah. So there's the Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Find it on sipsandspirits.com.
There we go. Enjoy it. Bye, guys.
And then find out, come join us on April 15th to see how James enjoys it. Yeah. Because I'm like, I don't know if this is really going to be his thing. I feel like it fits the cryptid really well. But I'm curious to see what he thinks of it. Mm-hmm.
So.
We ready to jump into the cryptid?
Yes, it is. Yes, I am. Yes, it is. Yes, we are. Words, they're not real. Once again, if you guys don't remember, this beautiful cards come from the game Classified Cryptids from Afterlife Comics. And today we have pulled the Baba Yaga. Mm-hmm. Baba Yaga. A witch that appears as a ghastly elderly person. Baba Yaga is generally portrayed as wearing a shroud or dress with a splendid red eye and teeth of honed stone or metal. It is said that she lives in a hovel somewhere down in the forest areas. Doo-doo-doo. Nothing.
Simple and sweet.
Simple and sweet. Baba Yaga.
But there's so much variety to Baba Yaga, just from my own general knowledge.
Before I get into what I wrote down for this, I've read somewhere before that just like the idea of Merlin and other creatures of, I guess, beings.
Folklore beings?
Folklore of those beings. Baba Yaga is a title. Mm-hmm. You know.
Interesting.
At one point, I heard a story once. There's like 3 sisters that were all called Baba Yaga, kind of thing, but they're all like different, kind of thing, and whatnot. But I don't know. Baba Yaga's interesting.
Ooh. Before you continue, I have to share. So one of our guessers, Hilda, Steam Kittens, she shared with me, and I'll put it here in the YouTube episode. At her school, there are they've always been there, 3 huts of Baba Yaga, 3 Baba Yaga huts that you pass in the hallway that are just an art installation there.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and Hilda is in Belgium, I believe. I'm like, I hope I got that right. I'm fairly certain I did. But yeah, so it's part of her culture, and she was like, I know exactly what this is.
If you guys don't know who Baba Yaga is, I've never seen it before. Baba Yaga appears in an episode of Scooby-Doo, Mystery Inc. Hellboy?
Yeah.
Okay. Also appears...
The comics and then the movie with David Harbour.
Okay. Also, Baba Yaga appears in that the show you were watching with the Don Quixote and the Dragon Mystery Quest or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, she appears. She's one of the witches there. Appears Baba Yaga, but she's all over the place, kind of thing. You know, like when shows bring a witch over of some kind, usually Baba Yaga's like the main trope.
She's one of them. I believe she's. Actually, I'm not sure. I was like, I think she might be one of the hedge witches in Sabrina, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. In Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga is a supernatural being, one of a trio of sisters with the same name, who appears as deformed and or ferocious-looking woman. In fairy tales, Baba Yaga flies around in a mortar wields a pestle and dwells deep in the forest in a hut usually described as standing on chicken legs. Baba Yaga may help and hinder those who encounter or seek her out and may play a maternal role. She also has association with forests and wildlife. According to Vladimir's props folklore mythology, Baba Yaga commonly appears as either a donor or a villain, or may be altogether ambiguous. That's what
So is she on your side or not?
You never know. So for this episode, I'm gonna drunk history this.
Okay, sounds fun.
I have my cliff notes. I have the main story, so I'm gonna go through it and hopefully catch all what I want to say then, kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes.
We're experimenting.
Different things. So the story is called Vasilisa the Beautiful. Okay? Story starts, mom's in her deathbed. Kind of is dying. Dad's there. Little girl, probably like young, like 6-something years old.
Okay.
10 maybe at the most. And then mom goes to dad, hey, I want to talk to my daughter myself. Mom to daughter, last moments together. And it's okay. The dad leaves the room. And then mom goes like, here, come closer. And then hands her this doll.
A doll.
A wooden doll. Okay? And it's like, if you ever need any help, feed the doll and ask it for advice.
Wait, feed the doll?
Feed the doll and ask her for advice. And like the daughter was like, you know what? She's dying. I don't want to like have a fight with her. This sounds crazy. Like it was like mom's like, trust me, just do this. And then she was like going like fading away. It's like, you know, Dad, come back. And so Dad came back and it's like mom's like stuffs the doll into her pocket like, remember what I told you. And like mom passed away.
Ooh, ominous.
Okay. So excuse me. You know, after mom passed, and like at first, like whenever she held the doll, she'll hold it every night. She's like, I can't believe that's the last time I have a mom. Like this like delusional idea that if like this wooden doll, if I feed it, it's gonna help me out. Kind of thing. She started growing, and you know, being old in times, people like, hey, you don't have a wife. Your daughter doesn't have a mother to be like, learn how to be a woman. Why don't you find a wife? Okay, and so
Cinderella story.
kind of Cinderella story, and
there's water there if you need it.
No, I'm good. And Dad fell in love with this lady called Lilia, and this was the town's worst person to be around.
Oh, great!
Like they're like, we want you to get a wife.
Great taste, Dad.
But not her. And the dad's like, well, you guys don't know her like I do. Like when she's around me, she's the sweetest. She's the best kind of thing. And they're like, okay, dude, whatever, kind of thing. At first, Lilia came to the family with 2 daughters around, and they were like, oh, we get to have a younger sister. We're going to have such a great time. It's going to be fantastic. We love her. We can care for her. And that was like, sweet. It worked out. I got a wife. She has kids to play with. We're all set.
Huh.
That's a merchant. So.
Oh, what the heck?
So, Dad began to travel, you know, to go make money, kind of thing. And as soon as he left, that's when stepmother's true colors came out.
Of course.
Being that this girl probably now is like a teenager, and she was beautiful. Everybody loved her. She was lovely. She was nice to everybody, and everybody like, oh, Vasilisa is such a great person, kind of thing. On the other hand, her daughters, not so much. They took after her mother, being horrible people, and you know, ate it from the inside, kind of thing. So she wanted to like, you know, make her work hard, turn her into her daughters, kind of pretty much, you know, wanted to stop feeding her. She had this big old scheme to like what to do. So like one first day, she's like, you know what? Go out to the field. I want you to do all this chores and this and that. Get yourself dirty. You know, I'm not giving you a hat to cover your face, so you're gonna be out hot in the pouring sun to ruin your perfectly pearl skin, isn't that? So she went out, did all works for the whole day, and then she came back. And she was exhausted. She was like, oh, what a hard day. You know, like this stepmother of mine. She's so mean. She's horrible. She just wants to like make my life miserable. She's all sad, you know. And that, you know, she thinks what her mom said. We need help. We need some advice. Feed the doll and ask her for advice. And it's like, you know what? It was crazy then. It's crazy now. But you know what? I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I need a little comfort.
Yeah.
Let's just play.
Just vent, right?
Let's just vent and humor her. So she had little scraps of food left, you know, and puts it to the doll mouse, and the doll bites it. And she's like, what is going on here? Kind of thing. And the doll starts to move. And it's like, how can I help you? And she's like, I may be crazy, but I'm going to tell this doll my problems. And she spills the whole spiel about her stepmother being evil and mean and whatnot. The doll goes, tomorrow, take me in the field with you, feed me, and I'll help you out. Okay? And she's like,
What?
I'm too tired to argue with you, so I'm just gonna fall asleep. Okay, so she fell asleep. The next day, she's like, that was a crazy dream I had, but some of the food that I had here is gone. I don't know, maybe. So she puts it on her pocket, goes out to the field, and then feeds the dog. Comes back to life. It's like, okay, let's do this. And the doll starts doing all the work. It's a wooden doll, apparently superhuman strength.
Nice.
Kind of thing. And so it starts doing all the stinging and whatnot and this and that. But when they were like came to check on Vasilisa, I'm gonna call her Vasi from now on. Vasi, they like she pretended to be working, to be like, okay, she's the one doing the kind of thing and whatnot. So, and then the stepmom was like, well, you know what, this hard work thing is not working. Let's stop giving her food. Let's give her less and less food, so she gets skinny and just malnourished. So like the little food she had left, she gave it to the doll and told the doll, my stepmother's giving me less food. It's like, no worry, I got you. And the doll brought her more food, just so she can stay nourished and she can stay healthy. And this and that. It's like, what is going on? All my schemes of making this girl ugly and horrible, not working out. Okay? So then, that goes for short trips kind of back and forth. And then he gets this big break. He's like, oh, this is a big city. I'll be able to like sell so much. We're gonna be made for life kind of thing. And daughter's like, please, Dad, don't go. My stepmom's horrible. She does all this bad things. Like, you just exaggerate. He just, mad that that you're not my favorite anymore. I trust her. I believe in her and whatnot. So he goes on this big trip. Okay, and short after, the money that he was sending home stops coming in, and the stepmom goes, "Your dad died, and we can't afford to live here no more. So we bought this hut in the edge of the forest. The forest where all the bad things happen. There's wolves out there. There's wizards kidnapping people.
Prime real estate.
And Baba Yaga is out there too. Just so you know, kind of thing. So we're gonna go live out there now." And she's like, okay. So they sell whatever they had the house left, and they go to his house. Little Shrek, like shack in the middle of nowhere in the forest, just like those four of them, $2 stepmom, and then and Basa Lisa just trying to survive, kind of thing. She keeps her doll with her, and every time gives her a little food and helps her out, kind of thing. Okay, and then one night they're knitting, kind of thing, and they have only one candle blowing, and that's enough light for them to like just see each other.
Okay.
And one of the stepdaughters, it's like they were scheming before and going like, everything we're doing is not working. We're out here in the forest. We know Baba Yaga somewhere out there. Let's send her out there, and either she'll get her or the wildlife will get her, and then we're rid of her, kind of thing. And then we can go back to our good life back in the city with all the money that Dad's been sending that we've been pocketing, kind of thing. So they're knitting, and one of the stepdaughters goes, whoops, and blows out the last candle of light they have there. It's the middle of the night. They're knitting in the middle of the night. And then she goes back to knitting. And then Vasilisa's like, hey guys, it's dark. What are we doing here? And they're like, that sounds like a you problem. Why don't you go and get us wood and fire? But the only person, we are out here in the forest, the only closest person you can find is Baba Yaga. So go to Baba Yaga's house and get some fire for us to have light. They pretty much like push her out of the house and lock her behind her. And it's like, okay, I guess I'll do this. He gives the little food that she had, in her pocket. He's like, hey, take me along with you. Everything will be good. Okay? She goes out at night, it's like really dark. She hardly can see anything, trying to get away to the forest and whatnot. And when she gets tired, she's like, oh man, she's been walking for like hours. Like, I don't see anything. Just the moonlight's barely going through, and it's like, it's hard to see. And it's like, that's when she starts hearing like horse feet, hooves, kind of thing. And she's like, oh, there must be a road. Maybe somebody can help me. I can get directions, kind of thing. She goes out to the road, and then sees a white knight in all white and a white horse. Okay?
What?
And she's like, that's a little weird. So I'm going to stay back a little bit and then just kind of like see them go by, kind of thing.
The doll's still with her, right?
Yeah, the doll's still with her, kind of thing. So that the knight goes by and just completely ignores her, keeps going off on the way. It's like, you know what? Found the road, fantastic. I'm gonna sit around here. It's starting to get light. Things are gonna get a little better now. Maybe I'll be able to see. Let's see if somebody else comes by. She sits around. She waits and waits, and it's like nothing. All of a sudden, she hears horse steps again. Okay, horse coming by. This time, sees a man completely wearing red, and like a red mane horse. And she's like, "That's weird." And he just ignores her. Keeps walking by. He's like, you know what? I don't think anyone goes through this road. But I'm just going to just go down this road and see where it leads. Maybe I can find the city or something to get back to civilization and out of this trap that I'm in. So she goes down, keeps going. And then as she gets further and further into the woods, it starts to get darker again. Now it's been almost a whole day that she's been out and about. It's getting darker and darker. She sees like a little hut. Like, oh, somebody lives here. Oh, maybe I can go check out what it is. She's getting closer and closer. Excuse me. Let's see where I'm at. Okay, I think I'm at.
She's getting closer and closer.
That's and then she's like, oh, as she gets closer, like lights come on. It's like, oh. There's a way to explain it. She got the gate. Like she's touching the gate. It's like this is it's like it feels like wood, but not really. It's like she knows it because like the light's still out there for the day. It's like white-ish in color.
No.
And then that's when and that's when she hears one more time. Hooves. Sorry. Scratch. She hears hooves one time. It's like, oh, someone's coming. I don't know what it is. So she can't like hide anywhere, but she sees like a bush, and she like throws herself in there, kind of thing. This time, she sees a knight, and it's all in black, and a black horse. Mm-hmm. And the knight goes, and it goes to the gate of this hut, and disappears. And she's like, that was weird, kind of thing. And then she's kind of like trying to figure out what's going on, and that's when she hears a cackle. And then she tries to hide again in the bushes. And that's when she sees her. Baba Yaga. In her mortar. And those petals, she's like rolling herself pretty much closer and closer to the side. And she's like, this is Baba Yaga's house. And then as Baba Yaga's getting closer, the lights get brighter. And she realizes they're not like regular lights. These lights are skulls. And she realizes the nice wooden fence she was touching. Bones. Kind of thing. And Baba Yaga gets to her gate and she's like, I smell girl. Okay? And then she looks around and then BAM! Right at the bushes. She stares at her. It's like, come out here. I know you're there, so come out. And it's like, she comes out here. And it's like, what are you doing here? Do you know who I am? It's like, yes, I know you're Baba Yaga. I know all of your stories. This is what happened. I'm with my stepmother. We're out in the woods. We're out of fire. I came here to ask for some fire. And she's like, okay, I'll give you fire, but it won't be for free.
Of course.
You gotta give us something in return.
Right.
So she whispers something to her gate, and it opens up. Okay, let's come inside, and I'll tell you what it is. Okay. So
Don't go inside.
She goes inside with her because
no.
She's like, you know what, Baba Yaga or my stepmother, they're both kind of bad. First thing she asks her, it's like, hey, I want you to make a meal enough to feed 3 large men.
Okay.
Okay. And she's like, okay. And being, an amazing person, she was able to cook this meal. Baba Yaga ate it. It's like, delicious. Done. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. Tomorrow, I want you to clean up my whole house. Okay? She wanted her to clean the house, make dinner again, large dinner for a lot of people, weed the garden, and then go back to the greenhouse and separate the good grain from the bad grain in sacks. Then she jumped into her pot in the kitchen and fell asleep. And Basilisa was like, ugh. So, with the leftover food, little scraps, she fed it to the doll one more time, told her the situation, and the doll's like, hey, when Baba Yaga leaves tomorrow, feed me, I got you. Okay? So morning wakes up, Baba Yaga gets on a little mortar, a little pestle, goes to the gate, whispers a little something. She goes out for her adventures. The adventures of Baba Yaga. Those are. And then Vasilisa gives her a little food to the doll, and it starts doing everything. Kind of thing. Everything except for make dinner. Kind of thing. Cleans the house, weeds it, separates the grains out. Boom. Baba Yaga comes back as Basilisa is finished up dinner. It's like, everything else is done. It's like, yep, the grains start there in sacks. Your house is clean. And she's like, yeah, I've never seen it clean before. And there's no weeds. Kind of thing. It's like, how'd you do this kind of thing? And I was like, okay. As she's there, she claps her hands. And hands come out of nowhere. Like skeleton hands. Take the grain and put it in the barn. Kind of thing. She eats up her food. And she's like, you know what? Tomorrow I want you to do the same thing you did today. All of the same. I'm guessing her house got started very quickly. And then, but one more thing. Someone smeared dirt all over a measure of poppy seeds. I want you to clean each of them one at a time. So the poppy seeds, clean them up. Kind of thing. And she jumped through the sofa, fell asleep, and she was like, great, another thing to do. Kind of thing. But the next day, Baba Yaga left. Mm-hmm. She fed the doll a little food, and the doll did everything. And Baba Yaga came back, and she was like livid, like, how is this possible? Kind of thing. She clapped her hands again. Hands came out, grabbed the grain. Excuse me. Hands came out, grabbed the poppy seeds, and she's eating her food, and it's like, I can't get this girl to do something wrong, because as soon as she does something wrong, I can eat her. It's like, like that's the thing about Yaga. If you can't fulfill her needs, she eats you. Kind of thing.
But so when is your end fulfilled?
Whenever Baba Yaga thinks you're done.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
She's like a mob boss.
So at this time, they were kind of like staring at each other at dinner, and she's like, okay, what do you want, girl? Kind of thing. Like, besides your fire, you're staring at me right now. Besides trying to find her freedom. Kind of thing. She's like, well, I got a few questions. Mm-hmm. Okay. Baba Yaga replies to her, careful, girl. Not all questions lead to good things. If you know too much, you will grow old too soon, which entails she will die. Baba Yaga will eat her. And this is when Baba Yaga's like, come on, ask me questions. And she was thinking about it. She decided to ask her, what about the horsemen? I see them come in, they come to your gate, and they disappear at your gate. She's like, they're daylight, so the white is daylight, or day, the red is twilight, and the black is night. So they represent, the changing of time.
Day cycle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
But she was, and then I was like, is there anything else you want to know? Why am I having to clean my house? What are these random hands that are showing up? Etc., etc.
I wanted to know about the nights too.
And, she was like, no, I'm good. And she's like, okay, well, I have a question for you. It's like, how are you able to do all of this? Mm-hmm. This realistically impossible task to do, and you get it done in a day. And Vasilisa was like sitting there going, like, put her hands in her pockets, like, I don't want to tell her about a doll because I want her to, like, take it away from me. Mm-hmm. She's been, like, my lifesaver, my saving grace kind of thing. It's like, well, it was a blessing from my mother kind of thing.
It's not a lie.
When Baba Yaga heard that word, she got mad. It's like, what? Blessing? No one with a blessing is allowed in my house at all. Get out. Just get out of my house.
What about the fire?
Kind of thing. So she yells something out. Her gate opens and Basilisa starts running away, from this house kind of thing. It turns back to the giant chicken legs back there. It's nice. Like, oh yeah, you're on your fire, huh? So he grabs one of the skulls from her house and throws it at her.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And also skulls on the lamps in her house. And so it rolls her and it's like, so it's a skull with fire in it. Kind of thing. So Lisa grabs it and starts going back home. And now she has light to see, so she can see herself through the forest and that. But the skull's getting hot. It's fire there. It's like not really insulated properly. So she grabs a stick. Now she has a cool little wand with a skull in it. And she lights her way there. Kind of thing. Eventually she makes it back home. Kind of thing. And as soon as she comes close to the house, the door swings open and everybody comes out like, "Ah, you're back. Thank God you're back. We missed you so much." And she's like, whoa, what's going on here? It's like, as soon as you left, we have been trying to light a fire ever since you left and nothing has happened. Kind of thing. And it's like, we even went to the neighbors, we got some food from them, some fire from them. Like, it's like neighbors. I thought we were like old people out here, but nothing. But I'm so glad you have fire. It feels so nice. Come inside. Okay, so she puts pretty much a stick in the middle of the room. And they're like, oh, warmth, fire. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty nice. I guess I'm gonna say sorry or anything. It's like, no, not sorry right now. Fire right now. Oh, warmth. Oh, hot. It's getting very hot. And the fire starts to grow in the skull. And it starts to just go wild in the skull pit. And it starts going around the whole house. And Buffy's like, oh, I'm going to walk away from this. And it burns the stepmother and the children alive. And then after that, it goes back to the fire. And she's like, this is a murder weapon now. I'm going to go hide it somewhere and forget it ever exists. She hides it. It's gone forever. Kind of thing. She goes back to town and everybody's like, hey, welcome back. How was your vacation? Like, vacation? I tells the town people the whole story. But I have nothing else. Because my stepmother sold everything. My dad's gone. What's going to happen?
Right.
Kind of thing. So she actually ended up meeting some single lady kind of thing. She's like, hey, I know how to do these things. I can cook, clean it up. I'll pay for my stuff. I'll work for my saying. They she knew who she was. So it's like, she takes her in and starts living with her kind of thing. For the rest of her days, she's pretty good. She has, she's a house. She has food. She doesn't have to work hard in the fields no more. Occasionally she feeds a doll and has a lot of chit chat just to cover. And then one day she's like, you know what? She's living so nice. So she makes a really nice shirt. She goes like, hey, sell this in the market and you'll be able to make a lot of money from it. You've been so nice for me. I haven't given you much, but do this kind of thing. Lady decides instead, I'm going to take it to the Tsar. The king in their area. Kind of thing. And it's like, that's a really cool shirt. I really like that shirt. Who made that shirt? Oh, this girl I'm living with. Bring her to me. And they get married. And they live happily ever after. Kind of thing. And she keeps her doll and whatnot. And that's the end.
That's the end?
That's the end. Happily ever after, Baba Yaga. Sorry.
This is like a weird, almost like Rumpelstiltskin parallel.
Right? Like
without the name guessing. You took a handful of
fairy tales
and put them in one. Or maybe the fairy tales got it from this one. Interesting.
Right?
Very interesting. Huh. Now,
the only person who ends up losing is, besides the stepmother family, they're all dead. But Dad comes home eventually. And where my stuff at? Who are you living in my house? It's like, somebody sold me this house. God thing.
It was all very vague with the dad thing. I was like...
Yeah, there's not much...
At one point I was like, is the dad dead? Is the stepmother not worried the daughter's gonna snitch on her? But then you covered that,
I mean,
I would like hunt you for that. I mean, I know we've actually been witness to this kind of situation in real life, and it's very irksome to me because when I'm gone, I don't care. You want to get your mother replacement? That's fine, but that means you were doing it on behalf of your child, but then you're just totally blindsided by this mother replacement. It like defeats the purpose of getting one. So it's extremely upsetting. And then, oh yeah, Baba Yaga like smelling the girl in the bushes. I was like, what is she, Mary Sanderson?
Yes.
Or is she the giant from Jack and the Giant Beanstalk?
Or are they all?
Like, there were so many fairy tale parodies
right?
here.
No, they're like
or parallels.
Like you listen to this, like there's like so many things, kind of like different things happen. It's like, wait, I've heard this like stepmother, Cinderella. You have Baba Yaga being like weird thing, and then like Halls and all thing.
The Gate of Bones.
The Gate of Bones is like, oof. Yeah, I mean, this girl had like a very hard life.
And like, where did the doll come from?
I don't know. They really know that like mom has him when she's dying. It's
like, was it kind of like mother imbuing her spirit into it?
Like,
or is it something like she's always had? She got from her mother, like.
In the story that
I feel like I've heard like some sort of version of this tale before. It's really weird. Like some of it is like, oh, that's very unfamiliar, but then others I'm like, I'm having a deja vu moment here.
No, like, I don't know. The story that I got is from the doll itself. Like, wasn't like told where it came from, but like, yeah, some people interpret it as being like her mother's spirit watching over her.
Mm-hmm.
Others are like, maybe it's a gift passed by generations. You know?
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it yet, but there's a story I heard before about golems.
Mm-hmm.
And how golems get passed down by families. The same golems to the same family.
Uh-huh.
And then you just like, gets
interesting.
Passed down kind of thing.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But yeah.
No, I mean, if I were the mother and I had any sort of inkling of what my husband was like, then yeah, I would try to pass down a doll that's going to take care of my daughter because clearly he wasn't doing a good job.
I know what kind of woman you like. You don't got to do a good job taking care of her.
No, he's not.
Kind of thing. But yeah.
All right.
Baba Yaga.
Very fun.
Very fun. Very different.
So are we ready for a little guess who at what the next cryptid is going to be?
I am ready for this. I'm ready for this. I'm not. So once again, I don't read this beforehand. So I get them when you guys get them. So.
But his only advantage is that he knows what it is.
Yes, that's my advantage. So once I hear him, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see it.
Yeah. All right. So you ready?
Yeah.
Is that a hump you spy in the lake water? A serpentine beast, some clay, if they spot her. The lock's been her home since 565 AD, becoming a most famous cryptid in 1933.
Are you saying this thing was not a cryptid?
This cryptid has had reported sightings as early as 565 AD. Mm-hmm. But what rose it to fame was in 1933.
Okay. Got it.
Yes. It is one of the most famous cryptids.
Yes.
I would say.
But, Chelsea, what is a cryptid?
We need to have that little segment at the beginning of every episode. Because it's important. It is. Because if you're joining us for the first time, you may be like, oh, whatever cryptid and cocktails is, I'm excited to find out. Mm-hmm. Maybe cryptid is not a term you're familiar with.
We've been asked a few times what is a cryptid. By people who we thought knew what the word was. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing. But pretty much a cryptid, at least to our understanding of the word, is a creature usually regionally based. There has not been
scientifically proven or disproven
that exist, kind of thing. Baba Yaga, one of them. Bigfoot is another one. Mothman, as you guys saw in previous episodes. Yep. We've had a conversation before of Santa Claus being a cryptid.
Yeah, that's a debate. That'd be a fun Christmas episode.
Kind of thing. And whatnot. But Krampus is a cryptid.
I see. Well, like, that's the weird part is, like, I wouldn't think Baba Yaga or Krampus are cryptids.
Yeah.
They're folklore characters to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
But yeah.
Their purpose is cautionary tales, but I guess like when you use the term cryptid, it's kind of a blanket on those as well, right?
Kind of thing. I mean, if you go with the whole not scientifically proven or disproven.
Right. There's no proof leaning one way or another.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
If you know what this cryptid is, leave your comments on Instagram, our website, or email us, and we'll share you on our next episode.
Yes, just like we did at the beginning of this episode with our 2 wonderful guessers.
Yes. Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of thing.
Leave it at one of those 3 outlets.
Mm-hmm. You ready for our last call as I'm finishing up my cocktail?
I am.
Okay. So, once again, thanks for sipping along with us. We want to keep the spirits flowing, so please be sure to show your support by reviewing and subscribing to our podcast. If you enjoy the show, please be sure to share with others.
Sharing with others is really the best way to help us get more, not notoriety, but just get more ears on our podcast.
Get our word out there. Get our stories out there. They're not our stories. Stories we found out there.
Get our silly cocktails
out there. Kind of thing, you know? Have a good time. Have a story. Have a discussion about the cryptids or the stories. Like, ooh, like, you know, that's a creepy one. Has this ever happened to you? Yeah, kind of like this. Or if you know anything else about those cryptids, share with your friends. You know, the Pugwudgie has a traffic sign. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know?
Up next on Sips and Spirits Road Trip Edition.
Road trip to the East Coast because they have all the cryptids apparently out there.
Oh, we have some out here too.
We have some out here too.
And if keeping in touch with us on social media is just a little too challenging, you can subscribe to our email newsletter instead. It's the best way to keep in contact with us and for us to keep in touch with you and up to date on the latest and greatest from Sips and Spirits. You can join us via sipsandspirits.com/happy hour or join through our Linktree link. That's not redundant. On any of our social media platforms. Just look for the sign up for our email newsletter link and it'll take you to where you need to go to get on our list.
There we go.
Yeah.
We send out a newsletter every other week.
Every other week. So any week there isn't an episode, there's a newsletter.
There we go. Kind of thing. I'm looking at my cup.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the thyme in there. And all I can think of was Horizon Zero Dawn when you swim in the water. You have to hide the seaweed. That's what I thought was good. But anyway, here and there. So, but yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. And you can find us if you're looking for us on all podcast hosts and YouTube, which is now considered a podcast host since they have a podcast section at this point. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we are on YouTube. We like to record these episodes. It's a personal favorite of mine to actually watch a podcast versus listening to it.
You can see my beautiful pump. Oh, yeah.
So if that's your thing, go and find us on YouTube and follow along. Otherwise, we do have a website. sipsandspirits.com is the best place to keep up with all our show notes, our cocktail recipes, and more, such as our email newsletter. We also do have an Instagram, Twitter, forever how long that lasts, Facebook, and TikTok. Although, honestly, there are some platforms we're a bit more active on than others. Yes. So, pick your poison and keep in touch with us.
We'll respond to anybody who reaches out to any of those platforms.
Correct.
We will respond back, but we might not be active in those platforms.
We may not seem active, but we will return contact.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, with that being said,
let's close our tab.
Cheers.
Cheers.